Yeah, thank you, Prof. Now this problem created by the wrong notion, or wrong understanding, or wrong metaphysics, so to speak,
Yeah.
from the layman's point of view. How are you going to apply it to correct the errors and to restructure the African system to become what it's supposed to be? And then secondly, you mentioned about let's say the man going to hunt, the woman being the guardian in the family. And so does it help us understand the issue of division of labor in the family
Sure.
and then in the larger society, and then how then market this to the world, to the outside world? That's Africa being the greatest contributor of the family system to the world. The African family system to be the best when we compare what happens with the world over. So this family system that is based on this complementarity you're talking about, how can we now market it to the so that the outside world will understand it from the point of view of the way it is practiced in the African traditional system?
Sure. You see, when you talk about complementarity, complementarity says for there to be peace in the world, there must be reciprocity of respect. That is why the Igbo will say, nu ugwu ka eji wee kee ụwa, ugwu ka eji wee jikọta ụwa, ugwu ka eji agụ ụwa, ụwa jikwa omume. The Yorubas will say, ori ibala ti da aye, which is the same thing that the Igbo has said, ugwu iba. Even when the typical dibia or in Igbo wakes up to pray, the first thing he utters is ugwu. Ugwu nwoke, ugwu nwanyị. Ugwu ụmụntakịrị, ugwu ndị okenye. Ugwu ndị ichie, ugwu ndị ofeke. Because if there's no ofeke, how would you know the ichie?
Always exists in the organization.
Okay. So you pay homage to everybody. And then this ugwu, this principle of ugwu, what does it operate on? It operates, there can be no reciprocity of respect if there is no what you call the active and the passive. For relationship to work and work well, there must be the active point and the passive point. So when the active point is exploding, the passive point is holding it together. That is why in the African family, you get it, the woman is made the passive point. That passive point performs more work than the active point. She is the holder of the home. If a home is peaceful, you know the woman there is working. If the home is not peaceful, then she's not working. Now, how did our ancestors arrive at this? If you look at the four elements, Eke, water, Ori, wind, Afo, earth, Nkwo, fire. Eke and Afo go together because Eke, water, needs a container to contain it. Earth. Both of them are female. Why? They are on the ground. Now, if you look at Ori and Nkwo, they work together. Ori is air. Air houses fire. They are of the sky. So you see the thunder explodes like a man will roar. What comes it? Earth. So our women were trained to develop the etiquette and mentality of patience, ndidi. And remember that both the Igbo and the Yoruba say patience, ndidi, suru, is the most cardinal of all virtues. And whoever has no patience will lose a lot of things.
The concept of ndidi
Ndidi suru ni babaiwa. Now, that is why the Igbo name for husband is Di Ane Di Nwoke Edi. It is with patience that the woman follows a man because the man has a lot of nuisance value as the active force. You get it? Then the Aberdeen man will say Ji Ane Di Nwoke Edi. You manage a man. That is why the kitchen and the fattening room is the place where women were trained about the psychology of the man and how to manage the man. And that is why, because the woman plays a lot of role in holding the family together. She is Ako. You go and work and give her to hold. She contributes, so not that she does. She Odosi Ako. Because the man he does the masculine things. He will clear the plot. He will do those things that involve energy. The women and the children have taming. When they are not taming the farm, the man, after the man has sown the king of crop among us Igbo, yam, while the women and children are taming it, they will sow cassava, they will plant vegetables, plant beans, plant all those ones. They are the owner, so they are planted more than the man. Are you getting it? Yeah. So when the man brings out yam, brings out meat, vegetable, beans, groundnut, cassava, is the woman that brings it. Fish is the woman that brings. She has brought more. So when people say traditional African women were sitting at home, they were not sitting at home. It's colonialism that brought it to. Don't forget Osadebe and Oloyibo. When the white man came, he took land from us. And he said we should pay land tax. Our own land though. Hot tax. Our own that we built with our own self. We should pay hot tax. We should even pay head tax on our own head. We pay tax on our own head. Don't forget. They now created Oloyibo. Oloyibo now is that since they took land from us, we pay tax on our head, we pay tax on the hut we built, we pay tax on the land that we have been occupying for thousands of years. So they now created customer job for you, created the teacher job for you, missionary job for you. The men were not going to work. That is where male dominance came into form.
Abandoned them.
And then women now sat at home. That's how the question of housewife arose. We should go and do our research very well. At that point, what was being destroyed was the soul of African culture. Because the soul of African culture does not allow male dominance. It does not allow female dominance. It allows balance. All right? Yeah. So that is and now because Africans have lost this, now we have lost, and when you talk about passive and active and passive, what you are saying is that you deal with the rule of equity, not equality. Anywhere you bring equality, there will be crisis. If these our 5 fingers are equal, they will be useless. There's equity in these 5 fingers. There's no equality. But each one performs its job perfectly and complements the other. Yeah. So, principle of complementarity is based on equity, not equality. Once you bring in equality, the fight of gender and superiority will come in. But once you bring in equity, the question of the roles played by the gender will be emphasized, which you find in the Confucian Taoism. Womanhood is a Tao. Manhood is a Tao. Husband is a Tao. Wife is a Tao. Bear and function by your Tao. That was the function of complementarity. Asians are held onto their own. Their families everywhere is intact. We that have left our own, our families are in disarray. Once we leave their abode, even here, divorce rates are increasing.